If you receive Social Security and you look at your bank account in July, some of you are going to see something unusual. Not one deposit, not two, 3 separate payments from the government, landing in a single 31-day stretch. And most of the people who will receive that third payment have no idea it is coming, and no idea why. I want to be honest with you from the very first sentence, because that is the only way I do this work. This is not a bonus. Nobody is tripling your money out of generosity. What is really happening is a quirk in the July calendar, combined with the fact that many households qualify for more than one kind of Social Security payment at the same time. It is real, it is your money, but if you do not understand it, one of those deposits will trick you, and August will feel very short. Here is the tension I want you to sit with for the next few minutes. Being paid 3 times in July is one thing. Understanding what that money is and whether you are actually receiving everything you are owed is a completely different thing. That gap is where families lose thousands of dollars. Stay with me. Let me tell you why almost nobody explains this to you clearly. The Social Security Administration is built to process what you file, not to teach you what you missed. When a calendar quirk shifts your payment date, they do not call your house to walk you through it. When you qualify for a second benefit and never claim it, the system does not chase you down. It simply pays what you asked for and keeps the rest. That is not a scandal. It is a bureaucracy. But your bank account cannot tell the difference between the two. So here is what I am going to give you by the end of this video. 3 specific things. First, I am going to explain exactly why some people receive 3 payments in July 2026, which deposits are which, and the one that is not really extra money, so you never get caught off guard in August. Second, I'm going to walk you through 5 benefits and corrections that people over 65 qualify for and routinely fail to claim, with real dollar figures and the exact steps to fix each one. Third, near the very end, I'm going to give you the single most valuable item, the one that quietly returns the most money to the most people month after month for the rest of their lives. Stay with me all the way to the end because that last one is the reason I made this video. Before you decide this does not apply to you, let me stop 2 thoughts in their tracks. If you are thinking 3 checks in July means this is only for low-income people on SSI, you are wrong. The multiple payment quirk is just the doorway. Behind it are benefits that middle-income and higher-income households miss constantly. People with a paid-off home, a pension, and a spouse who worked. The more moving parts you have, the more places money quietly leaks out. And if you are thinking this is only for the wealthy, you are also wrong. One program I'm going to cover can pay your entire Medicare Part B premium, worth roughly $2,220 a year in 2026, and it is aimed squarely at people living on a modest fixed check. This also reaches people you might not expect: widows and widowers who never switched to the larger survivor benefit, spouses who worked part-time or stayed home raising children, divorced spouses who assume they lost every claim, renters, family caregivers, veterans, and their surviving spouses. So here is my promise. On every single item, I will tell you plainly who this helps the most. That way, you are never guessing whether I am talking to you. Because right now, I am talking to you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anna Walter. I am an estate attorney, and I have spent more than 10 years sitting across the table from families, sorting out money, benefits, and paperwork, usually at some of the hardest moments of their lives. Let me tell you the most painful pattern I see. It is not the dramatic fraud case. It is the quiet one. It is the honest, hardworking, careful person who did everything right for 50 years, who paid into the system with every single paycheck and who is losing real money every month to a mistake they cannot even see. A benefit never switched, a form never filed, a premium being deducted that could have been covered. These are not careless people. They are the most responsible people I know, and the system let them slip through anyway. That is the part that should make you angry, and then make you act, because none of this is your fault, but fixing it is entirely your opportunity. So here is my commitment to you for the next several minutes. I am going to make sure that person is not you. Let me explain the foundation, because once you understand the mechanism, the 3 July checks stop being confusing and start being useful. Social Security is not one program. It is a bundle of programs that share a name. There is retirement, based on your own work record. There is the spousal benefit, based on your husband or wife's record. There is the survivor benefit for widows and widowers. And there is a separate need-based program called Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, which is funded differently and paid on a different day. Here is why July 2026 produces 3 deposits for some people. SSI is paid on the 1st of the month, so it lands on July 1st. Retirement and disability benefits are paid on the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday based on your birth date, which in July means the 8th, the 15th, or the 22nd. And then there is the Quirk. SSI is always paid on the 1st of the month, but when the 1st falls on a weekend or a holiday, that payment is moved to the last business day before. August 1st, 2026 is a Saturday, so the August SSI payment gets pushed back into July, landing on July 31st. Let me make that real for a second. If you receive SSI and a retirement or survivor check, your July could look like this: a payment July 1st, a payment mid-month, say July 15th, and a payment July 31st. 3 deposits, 1 month. But here is what should make you pause. That 3rd payment, the July 31st one, is not extra money. It is your August SSI, arriving early. Think of it like your paycheck landing on the 31st because the 1st is a holiday. Same money, different day. If you spend it like a bonus, August will feel very short because no SSI payment arrives on August 1st. It already came. And here's why so much of this stays hidden from you. Each of these programs has its own application, its own office, and its own rules, and they do not automatically talk to each other on your behalf. You can qualify for a spousal benefit and never be told. You can be eligible for a program that pays your Medicare premium and never receive a letter. The system waits for you to ask. Most people never learn what to ask for. That is the whole game. Let me walk you through the 5 that matter most. For each one, I will tell you what it is, how it actually works, the real numbers, who it helps the most, and exactly what to do. Number 1, the spousal benefit that a working spouse never realized they could take. Here is what it is. If your husband or wife qualifies for Social Security, you may be entitled to up to 50% of their full retirement amount, even if you have your own record. How it works in plain English is this. Social Security compares your own benefit to half of your spouse's and pays you whichever is higher, not both. Let me give you a real picture. Say your own benefit is $900 a month, and half of your spouse's full benefit is $1,300. You are entitled to that higher $1,300, which is $400 more a month or $4,800 a year. Who this helps the most is spouses who worked part-time, worked fewer years, or earned significantly less over a lifetime. What to do about it? Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or log in at ssa.gov and ask them directly to compare your own benefit against your spousal benefit. Number 2, the survivor benefit that widows and widowers forget to switch to. Here is what it is. When a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can receive up to 100% of the deceased benefit if it is higher than their own. And this is the item that catches the most innocent people, so listen closely. Many widows keep collecting their own smaller check for years after their spouse dies, never knowing they could switch to the larger survivor amount. Let me make that real. If your own benefit is $1,400 and your late husband's was $2,300, you are entitled to that $2,300, a difference of $900 a month, nearly $10,800 a year. Who this helps the most is any surviving spouse whose partner earned more than they did. What to do about it? You generally cannot do this online. Call Social Security and say the exact words, "I want to review my survivor benefit." Do not wait for them to bring it up. Number 3, the Medicare savings programs that pay your Part B premium. Here is what it is. These are state-run programs that, depending on your income and assets, can cover your entire Medicare Part B premium and sometimes your deductibles and copays. How it works is simple. That premium is normally deducted straight out of your Social Security check. When the program covers it, that money goes back into your deposit. Let me give you the number. The standard Part B premium in 2026 is roughly $185 a month, which is about $2,220 a year returned to your pocket. Who this helps the most is retirees on modest fixed incomes, especially people who assume they earn too much to qualify and never even apply. Income limits are higher than most people expect, and some states have no asset limit at all. What to do about it? Contact your state health insurance assistance program, called SHIP, for free counseling, or apply through your state Medicaid office. Number 4, the Extra Help Program for Prescription Drug Costs. Here is what it is. It is a federal program that lowers or eliminates your Medicare Part D premiums, deductibles, and drug copays. How it works in plain terms is that once you qualify, your out-of-pocket prescription costs drop sharply, in some cases to just a few dollars per prescription. The value can exceed $5,000 a year for someone taking multiple medications. Who this helps the most is anyone on several prescriptions with a limited income, especially people who have quietly been skipping doses to save money. What to do about it? Apply directly through Social Security at ssa.gov or call the same 1-800 number. It is one application and it is free. Number 5, and this is the highest value item, so stay with me. Reviewing and correcting your lifetime earnings record. Here is what it is. Your Social Security benefit is calculated from your reported earnings across your entire working life. If even a few years were reported incorrectly, or an employer never reported your wages, your monthly benefit is permanently lower than it should be. How it works is quietly devastating because a missing high-earning year drags down your lifetime average the way one failing grade drags down an entire grade point average. Let me make that real. A correction that restores a few missing years of earnings can raise a monthly benefit by $100, $200, sometimes more. And unlike a one-time refund, that increase pays out every single month for the rest of your life. Who this helps the most is everyone, but especially people who changed jobs often, were self-employed, or worked in the 1970s and 1980s when reporting errors were common. What to do about it? Create your free account at ssa.gov. Pull your earnings statement and compare it line by line against old W-2s or tax returns. If a year is wrong, report it. This is the single most overlooked way people permanently increase their check. Let me tell you about someone. I will call her Doris. Doris is 74, a retired school secretary from a mid-sized town in Ohio. Her husband, Ray, worked 38 years as a union electrician and passed away 4 years ago. Doris is careful with money. She clips coupons. She has never missed a bill in her life. Here was the problem. After Ray died, Doris kept collecting her own Social Security check, $1,310 a month, the same check she had always received. Nobody told her to do anything else. She assumed the government would sort it out. It did not. Here was the single action she took. Her daughter watched a video a lot like this one and made one phone call with her mother on speaker. They said 7 words. "I want to review my survivor benefit." Here was the result. Doris was entitled to Ray's benefit, $2,240 a month. That was $930 more every single month, plus a partial retroactive amount the agency approved. Over $11,000 a year she had been leaving on the table for 4 years. Same woman, same careful, honest life. The only difference was that she finally looked. Now let me give you the contrast because it matters. I had another client, a man I will call Frank, 79, who did the exact same thing, kept his smaller check for 6 years after his wife died. By the time he learned about it, that was tens of thousands of dollars that could never be fully recovered because retroactivity has limits. The difference between Doris and Frank was not intelligence or income or luck. It was timing. It was looking sooner. Now let me give you 3 more that almost nobody talks about, aimed at edge cases and higher asset households. First, the surviving spouse of a veteran. Here is what it is. The VA offers a benefit called Survivor's Pension with an add-on called Aid and Attendance for wartime veterans and their surviving spouses who need help with daily living. That add-on can be worth well over $1,400 a month for a surviving spouse. Who this helps the most is widows of veterans paying out of pocket for in-home care or assisted living. What to do? Contact an accredited VA representative, never a paid consultant, through va.gov. Second, the divorced spouse benefit. Here is what it is. If you were married at least 10 years and are currently unmarried, you may claim on your ex-spouse's record, and it does not reduce their benefit or even notify them. The amount follows the spousal and survivor rules, up to 50% while they are living, up to 100% if they have passed. Who this helps the most is long-married, later divorced people who never remarried and assume they lost all claim. What to do? Call Social Security with your marriage and divorce dates ready. Third, and this is for homeowners, the property tax relief that quietly compounds. Here's what it is. Nearly every state offers senior property tax exemptions, freezes, or deferrals, but you almost always have to apply, and many reset every year. For a homeowner whose property value has climbed for decades, a freeze can save $1,000 to $3,000 a year, and it protects you as values keep rising. Who this helps the most is long-term homeowners over 65 on fixed incomes, getting taxed on paper wealth they cannot spend. What to do? Call your county assessor's office and ask specifically about senior exemptions and freeze programs. This one is not Social Security, but it lands in the same wallet. Here is exactly what to do starting this week. Step 1. Today. Go to ssa.gov and create your free My Social Security account. Pull your earnings record and your benefit estimate. If you already have an account, log in and read it carefully. Step 2. This week. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213. Have 2 questions ready. Ask them to compare your benefit against any spousal or survivor benefit. And if you have lost a spouse, say the exact words, "I want to review my survivor benefit." Step 3. Contact your local SHIP office for free Medicare counseling and ask about the Medicare savings programs and extra help. You can find your SHIP office at shiphelp.org. Step 4. Call your county assessor and ask about senior property tax relief. Now let me address the objections I hear most. If you are not good with computers, you do not need to be. Every one of these can be handled by phone or in person, and SHIP and the assessor's office will walk you through it patiently. If you threw away your old paperwork, that is fine. Social Security keeps your earnings record, and you can request past tax transcripts for free from the IRS at ssa.gov. And please hear this warning. You never have to pay anyone to claim benefits you are already entitled to. If someone calls demanding a fee, gift cards, or your Social Security number to unlock a payment, it is a scam. Hang up. The real agencies do not work that way. For free, legitimate help, use SHIP, use AARP Tax Aid, use VITA for free tax preparation, and use accredited VA representatives. Free help exists everywhere. Do not pay for what is already yours. Think back to Doris. Same woman, same careful life, $930 more a month for one phone call and 7 words. The difference was never about deserving it. She always deserved it. The difference was that she finally looked. That is the whole message of this video. Yes, some of you will see 3 checks in July, and now you know why. And you know that the last one is really your August money arriving early. But the bigger point is this. Being entitled and actually receiving are 2 different things. The government will not close that gap for you. You can close it in an afternoon. One important note. I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. And this video is general education, not personal legal, tax, or financial advice. The programs and dollar amounts I mentioned change over time, and the rules vary by state, so confirm the specifics for your situation before you act. And do one more thing for me. Send this to one person you love who is over 65. You may put thousands of dollars back into their life with a single message. Subscribe, turn on the bell so the next one finds you, and I will see you in the next video.